Have you ever noticed how sometimes a single moment of deep curiosity can ripple outward and change everything? You might not remember when you first realised that the way you think, the way you breathe, the way you ask, begins to shape not just your reality, but how others respond to you, and even how the world shows up. And maybe as you hear this now, a part of you is beginning to feel something new. It's already shifting, without needing to try. So what if all of this was always yours? Let's pretend for a moment you just landed on a new planet, a place where old beliefs don't exist, where your mind is curious, bold, calm, unpredictable, where the rules are playfulness, passion and power. And in this place, influence flows not from words but from energy, from presence, from the shape of your breath, from the sparkle in your eye. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who always feared confrontation until one day he remembered a time when he laughed so hard the world seemed to melt. And in that moment he chose to bring that feeling into the room. And the tension dissolved like morning fog. And everyone listened, because he changed his state, and they followed, like a boat shifting direction, not with force but with flow. Because influence is not about pushing, it's about pulling with presence, and presence is just another word for permission. Your permission to be outrageous, curious, kind, playful, daring now. Let's try something strange. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, but this mirror, it doesn't show your face. It reflects your beliefs. And as you look, you see words glowing behind your eyes. I'm enough. I adapt with grace. Every moment is feedback. Every question is a key. Now here's a fun twist. What happens when you ask a question? Not to get an answer, but to unlock someone's soul. Because when you listen so deeply, the other person feels heard. They begin to hear themselves. And in that silence you lead. Sometimes leading sounds like laughter. Sometimes like silence. Sometimes like a question so odd it shakes their pattern. What would it feel like to forget how to feel afraid? What colour is your confidence? How do you know you're not already changing now? Now listen closely, because something deeper is happening. The way metaphors slip beneath the conscious gate, like a river carving to a stone. Persistence creates change, not pressure. You don't need to convince the stone, just flow. And in flowing, you become the storm and the sail. You become the one who interrupts, not the conversation, but the script they forgot they were living. There once was a woman who always apologised, until she stood still, smiled, and asked the room, "What if I stopped apologising? And you love me even more?" And they did. This is how charisma is built, not from control but from coherence. From aligning your beliefs with your breath, your questions with your heartbeat, your presence with your purpose. Because when you install this belief that you're the mirror, everything changes. Others will begin to mirror you. Your calm becomes their calm. Your boldness gives them permission to be bold. Your mystery becomes magnetic. And all you did was remember what you already knew. The rapport is resonance, that certainty is contagious, that failure is funny, that the universe rewards movement. Now imagine again, not who you've been, but who you're already becoming. As if you already are this belief system, this operating system, installed, integrated, automatic. And somewhere in your mind, a new voice whispers, be curious, ask questions, play bold, interrupt the old patterns, starting with your own. Feel emotion fully, shift it freely. Reframe reality, because perception is power. You're the influence, you're the state, you're the leader. So tell me something strange. What happens when you no longer remember who you were? Because who you are now is everything you've always needed to be. That question is the pattern interrupt. Now breathe in, just for fun. Smile a little deeper, for no reason, and ask yourself, what might happen if all of this is already yours?